Okay, people. Another session with this brave youngster, 16-year-old Evan Dennehy, from Ireland. I think originally Cork, am I right?
Yeah, Clonakilty, West Cork.
You don't have a really strong. My father was originally from Dungarvan in Waterford, and you don't have a really strong Cork accent, but I love your accent. Anyway, so we have another session with Evan. We've got Aaron helping in the background, just sharing various things. And we're just updating because uh, we're making waves and we're not here to make trouble. We're just here to disseminate truth.
Mm.
So I'm going to hand over to, yeah, first of all, Angie Power Disney on YouTube. I really want to direct people to Evan Dennehy of the Family Christ. That's the name of his Facebook page. And we will share a link in the description box. And he got taken down for a few days. He got hacked and taken down, but then we got him back up, and then he got notification of being taken down again, but he's still back up. But anyway, I want you to follow, if you can, Evan Dennehy of the Family Christ on Facebook. I see your views are going up with your live streams. They're up to 500 or 600 now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, a few of them now are going up. To be fair,
Fantastic.
thank
Yeah.
God. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Because
Now there's still not as much like interaction between me and the audience. Like like what I'd love to be able to achieve someday in the future is where I can go live and people go live with me and tell their story publicly, and I kind of do like my own little podcasts and stuff.
and
You know,
I think you will achieve that. I just want you to be patient with when you get shadow banned and when you get suppressed and
oh yeah, well, I mean, I said it since day one. I mean, one of the biggest things with the system is it taught me a hell lot of patience.
yeah,
Anyways, you have to be so patient
I
when
know,
you're
I
going
know.
up against these things, like, oh, because I mean, there's going to be phases where you're just like stuck in this limbo for a long time. Like when I was in England being extradited back, it was just like court date after court date, high after low, and it's like you got to really be patient. Just
I
take
had to
things as they
laugh.
come.
I had to laugh when you WhatsApped me earlier today and you said, "Oh, there's not much to report. There hasn't been much going on." The amount of trauma you've gone through even in the last week is like, for some people, that's a lifetime, and you're like, "Oh no, everything's cool." It's like nothing much strange going on this end. It's like, what? What? Anyway, let's just carry on and stay focused. So
Yeah.
I'll just say there's a few things we want to cover. One is I've shared the work, we've done 3 or 4 videos with Evan, and I've shared it with various people, including somebody called Reverend Dr. Anthony Pike, who is a great nephew of Albert Pike, the infamous Freemason. Now, Anthony Pike, I call him Rev Pike, he's a defector. He identified that his son was a victim of satanic ritual abuse. He identified the corruption with his intergenerational Freemasonic family, and he defected, and he's become a whistleblower, and he's paid a high price for that. So he still seems to be subject to some programming, but I'm kind of fond of him, and we sent him one of the videos about Evan. And pronto, he seemed to do some research and came back. Now, bear in mind, Evan was put in care age 4 and is still in care age 16. So this is a child that doesn't know what the hell is going on all around him. And according to Evan, his mother only signed him over for 28 days and then he got kind of kidnapped, which is very normal with Tusla. But Reverend Pike seemed to uncover some genealogy history about Evan, including that his grandfather was the mayor of Cork. So shall we show a couple of those emails, Aaron? Lashing rain here now.
Yeah,
Oh,
same slash and rain here as well. I
I,
don't know what's been going on with the
I
weather.
swear to God.
Fucking
Right,
hell.
right. Thanks, Angie. Sorry to hear about you and Evan's harassment. Remember, the IRA kneecappers hate the guts of all Brits in Ireland. And in our case, our stately home of Kilkee was burnt to the ground because we were Brits linked to Cromwell's invasion. Yep, you'll also be 100% targeted. And then, right, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. Evan is understood to be 35 miles southeast of you in Ashbourne. Now, that was where your previous care home was in Meath, isn't that right?
Yeah, it was. It was in Ashbourne, Meath. It was
Yeah.
in Ashbourne.
So he's not too shabby with his research, is he? Like,
No.
even though he's a bit behind the times, since then you went to England and then you went to Wexford. So let's see if we can go on to another of his disclosures. Like, now, this, he says, is your granddad. Have you ever met either side of your family grandparents?
Um, so my understanding with my mum's side of the family is she grew up in foster care her whole life as well.
Wow.
I don't know if I
Know
actually
that.
told you that
No,
before.
you didn't. You
No,
didn't.
no.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
so she grew up in foster care, and back in her days, it wasn't even Tusla, it was just the HSE.
Yeah.
Um, and so she never really knew or had a relationship with her real parents.
Wow.
Now she refers a lot to Grandad Horgan, who I am spiritually very close to. I still feel his presence around me all the time. My mom be telling me that when I was a baby, I'd be having conversations with Grandad Horgan, and he wouldn't even be there. But anyway, so I can't say for certain, but I think given my mom's circumstances when she's referring to Grandad Horgan, I think she's referring to her foster dad. Um, but I wouldn't have met any of my mom's biological parents.
Wow.
I wouldn't have. I think I would have met my dad's dad, but he would have died also when I was very, very young. So the only granddad I have of some sort now is my dad's mom has a new partner. They've been together
So
now for
step, so
a
right.
few years, Dominic.
Yeah.
So he's not biologically related to me, but he's like a granddad to me. But
What's his last name? Dominic.
oh God, I don't even know, to be honest with
Okay.
you.
Okay.
But I mean, that's the only granddad that I know is still living and breathing today. I'm I know my granny on my dad's side, but that's about it. I've been in terms of
But
granddads. I've been
you do know your granny on your dad's side.
yeah.
Is her name Philomena?
No, it's Macklin. Oh no, what is it? Because I actually I don't know because I always like the kids always called her Granny Macklin.
Right.
And I know my dad's second name and my second name is Dennehy. So I don't know, is it Macklin Dennehy or does she have a different second name which is Macklin? I don't know. But do you have Filipina's full name?
I show the emails because Reverend Pike seems to have done a lot of research. Wait a minute, what have we got going on here? Oh yeah, you can't minimize Zoom while you're working. Um, no, I think it's really important, and this was important for me too. If you are a survivor of abuse, whether in foster care, TUSLA, adoption, parental, familial, whatever, it's really valuable to research your biological parents and your biological grandparents. Because if you start to pick up military connections and Freemasonic connections, you start to get some dots you can join that will help you understand. I'm shocked to hear that your mother grew up in foster care as well, and that hurts my heart, So let's just keep looking at what Anthony Pike seems to have uncovered. And anybody that wants to contact us and say, no, that was right, but this isn't right, or this detail, or any family members that want to get in touch, please do. There's something very powerful about finding out your genealogy. The only person who could help Evan is his aging granddad, who's apparently still alive, Evan, who was a mayor of Cork, but at 84, he may or may not be fully cognizant. So, feel free to download that picture. I don't know who the wife is.
Well, I'm certainly not aware of any other granddads that I have that are still alive. Definitely not.
No, but this might be a blood granddad. This might be like the ones you're aware of are step granddads. Do you know what I mean? They're not biological.
Yeah, but well, yeah, and it could be my mom's granddad, but I know my dad's dad definitely passed away years ago.
Right. Let's go to another one because the Dennehy connection is where Anthony Pike seems to have drilled down. So let's go to another email about the Dennehy's. Anthony's done a lot of research here, and I'm perfectly open to the possibility that he's wrong. But he's a very highly connected Freemason who's defected and used to have the Queen on his mailing list.
I've been in Wexford town, I've been seeing so many weird things, and I might be off track. I might be too quick to assume they're Freemasons, but
you X that out, please, Aaron. Can you X that? Yeah, get that out the way.
Nearly every night I go out to town, I see these old white men wearing suits and a dicky bow in the middle of the night, and this could be like as late as 9, 10 o'clock. There'd be no events on, there'd be no reason for large groups of men in suits to be wandering the streets of Wexford in the middle of the night.
They're coming from the lodge.
Yeah, I think they're connected to the Freemasons. I do.
Yeah, when I say the lodge, I mean the Freemason lodge, yeah.
Because the first day I noticed it scared the shit out of me, and I messaged you, remember?
Yeah.
But then the other night I saw them again, and I got a bit fucking cheeky. So I sat there and I stared into one of their souls the whole time they walked past me, and they stared right back at me, and one of them fucking winked at me.
Wow.
And literally it was a death stare, and you could see they looked angry. They were like an angry death stare, And then a different person with them winked, and I just thought, these people are weird. What is going on? And then, I try to educate Patrick on these things, even though he's only 15. And he understands some of these things, but not quite. He has a long way to go before he knows what's going on in Ireland, I think. And, he turned around and he said, sure, he might just be going to the opera house. I was like, is it an opera house, Patrick? Are you sure that's an opera house? Are you sure that's not a Freemason hall? Are you sure it's not a host gathering Freemasons? Patrick, you got to think these things out, And he was like, and he just kind of went, yeah, I guess, maybe. And I was like, you see.
A while. I'm in a little town of 24,000 people, and there's a Masonic lodge, and it's like they do Slimming World in there, and they do the farmers market in there, and
oh yeah, like it's just like any other town, but
they run
it's
the Pitch and Putt Club, and but also there's Irish Catholic versions of secret societies like Opus Dei and the Knights of Malta, the Knights of Columbus, St. John of God. Like the Catholic Church has its own whole umbrella of secret societies. So
oh yeah. And they're all hidden.
They're all the same. They're all the same. Even
they're camouflaged. They're all there within our society. It's not just the
Catholic Church, because the Church of Ireland, Protestant Church, the vicar, two vicars ago, he was the worshipful master of the local Freemason lodge, and the vicar after that was I don't know if he was jailed or just indicted for abusing a young lad that he took on missions trips. And this is the local Church of Ireland, Protestant church in the town. And even now, the vicar, he trained in the Catholic Church, but then he fell in love. So then he became an Anglican and became a Church of Ireland vicar. And
Oh,
even he says from the pulpit, don't be giving funny handshakes to each other. He even chastises the members of the Protestant church in
I have
town.
a huge well, I think it's a big update with my counselor, and it was a huge red flag. So we haven't actually told the public yet. My counselor was able to give me a location on one of the biggest Freemasonry halls in Ireland, down just by the parade. It's on Trinity Street in Cork. That's where it is. And I thought, wow, like this is crazy. This is a guy who's worked for the system, but he actually knows about this stuff. And so now this part you're not aware of, Angela, and you might want to hold on to your seatbelt here. I reached out to him the other day, feeling a bit paranoid, and I said to him, "Who are you, and what are your true intentions?" And he was like, "What do you mean? Where is this coming from?" And I said, "Well, since you have taught me about this Freemasonry hall, I've been noticing these red flags where I'm living. And I just found it quite interesting how you're a counselor working for the state, but you're able to give me that information." And he was like, "Well, sure, why wouldn't I? Like what's wrong with the Freemasons?" And I was like, "Do you realize what the Freemasons are?" He was like, "Yeah, they're people who do charity work." And I was like, "Oh no. Oh no, 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 no." And I was like, "Wait, so are you telling me the Freemasons are good people?" He was like, "Yeah, they seem to be like nice people."
They
So,
they they do
I
they
don't
do
even
do
know
charitable
what to
work.
say.
Yeah. The first few degrees, and there are many decent people that join the Masons to get on in their career and network and do a bit of charitable work. But the higher up you go, the degrees, eventually the big secret is they worship Lucifer. And I just have to say this, Evan, I'm not judging, but you seem to have lipstick and nail polish on.
Lipstick, I don't know.
Have you got lip
Um,
gloss on?
no,
Okay. And you've got nail
I
polish.
do have the nail polish on, yeah.
It's the same as mine. It kind of matches.
Mm.
And I'm not judging for that. I'm just saying that you had kind of an upsetting pedo comment recently on your social media. But I'm just saying
Mm.
that
Yeah.
you will get that. There will be people that
No,
find.
I'm not. I'm definitely not wearing lip gloss. Now, if it's something that Zoom is doing, like,
No, I wish it would do it to me.
I don't.
I'm going to put some on. I'm going to put some on. No, but I'm just saying,
Uh,
if you
uh,
get targeted by people that find you beautiful, and they're dirty, rotten, horrible,
pedophiles.
yeah, you just have to either report them or shake it off. It's
No, you know what I'm gonna do is anytime I have someone comment something like that to me, I am gonna publicly expose them, and I am gonna do a whole separate campaign fighting just against that person as an individual, and I will
I know,
destroy
but
it.
don't waste your energy. Don't cast your pearl before swine. Keep focused on what is the real enemy and don't let your energy go all over the place. Aaron, let's go to the next email. Let's get to the bottom of this genealogy, Evan, because this might explain.
These were the three emails that we had.
Okay, I
Okay,
think there's
we
more
have the
details.
article about Pike.
But no,
Okay,
before we go to, well, okay, go to the article about Pike, but then I'm going to go back to another couple of
okay.
emails because there were another couple of emails where he talks about the granddad and being mayor of Cork and all the rest of it. So this is just to give some balance. I've been in email contact with Rev Pike, as I call him. He is, I think, the great nephew of Albert Pike. He had the Queen on his newsletter. He's got millions of hits on his website. And he's done some pretty profound research on Evan's background based on Freemasonry and Protestantism in Ireland. And there are other things that, are a little bit strange. And one of them is that he fell in love online with a Russian girl. Can you disappear that box off the... Yeah. So this is... Right, now I'm going to share this because... Give me the title again. Go up high to the title. Confessions of a White Hat. This was funded by Kerry Cassidy. She admitted that online. And it was written by somebody associated with Revolution Radio. And many people associated with Revolution Radio in America turned out to be connected to pornography distribution worldwide. So Confessions of a Former White Hat is a blog that was funded by Kerry Cassidy, associated with and she has millions and millions of hits online. So let's go down and I'll read this a bit. It's a bit gossipy. It says, I admitted blackmailing Haley. Now this is James Casbolt, who I've had interactions with going back years. He was married to Haley Meyer, the daughter of a billionaire with a supermarket chain all over the world. He was married to her, and he sired a son called Dresden. And once he had sired a son, because he was a lost bloodliner, then they wanted rid of him. And then they just told him go away. And he said, well, you need to pay me to go away and give up my son. And then they got him locked up for 12 years for alleged extortion. James Casbolt, aka Michael Prince. So he says, I admitted blackmailing Haley in hopes of getting at least 2 million. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep my mouth shut around that judge, so now I had to plead guilty or worse would happen. I also admitted to stalking and sending threatening messages. Yeah, he did all this. They twisted things around. I was just being my usual charming self. I've been officially remanded, British-style spanking. I can't leave my room. No big deal. They feed me and I've got a posse of dumb followers going on the inside. I can't wait to see what they come up with on my psychiatric report. I'll see if I can't show them who's crazy. Remember, I'm extremely knowledgeable and vastly unique. I've lived an extraordinary life. He has. My past reaches back far beyond birth into another time, and I'm multidimensional. And so he's like a super soldier. But that's not the article. The article I want is the one he wrote about Reverend Pike. That's not the right article. He wrote a disparaging article about Pike, just saying that he fell for a Russian model and he sent her 3,000 quid and she never turned up. It's this kind of... Anyway, that's not the end of the world. If you can't find it, that's fine. But I do think there are another couple of... Did you find the Kumbaya timestamp, Evan?
Where they were singing.
Yeah, where they were singing to mock your Christianity. If you didn't find it...
I didn't, because I wasn't aware we were doing that in today's one.
We said it in the last video, and I said it to you in a message this morning, but it doesn't matter. We've got it on record. We'll find it eventually. What we shared already seemed to cause enough of a stir, and we're not going after individuals or trying to shame anybody. We're just trying to say, shake up the system. You can't treat people this way. You can't even treat 16-year-olds telling them that they're stupid and they're children and they need
and that they have no rights because you're 16. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, show some respect, and I'm a guard, and Even I've had that. And I'm 67, and I've had some of the guards, like, who do you think you're speaking to? It's like, one of the guards is like, step outside. And I'm like, no, I'm not stepping outside, and then another one, I'm like, what's your name, please? I don't need to give you my name. Who do you think you are asking for my name? It's like, no, getting a uniform, whether it's a police, a guard uniform or a prison warden uniform
It
or
doesn't make you above anyone.
no, all people are created equal before God. Right, so I can find that if you give me I wonder if the mouse works for me. I can't minimize while we're recording, can I? There's an article with James Casbolt describing. Anyway, never mind. And
I
there's
can go and
more.
search if you like.
No, it's okay. I think we've given enough for today, and I just want to give another couple of updates. So, and what I really want to do is direct people, because my job, I'm trying to retire. My job is to empower the next generations. And it's a privilege, because I've told Evan, he's the age of my grandson. It's a privilege to be able to just mentor a little bit. And so I want to direct people to Evan's Facebook page where he's most active, Evan Dennehy of the Family Christ. He's also got a YouTube channel. What's the name of your YouTube channel again?
I let me get it up there now really quick.
I'll share these links, but just so people know.
Yeah, no, I'll be able to get up there. It's EM period Dennehy of the Family Christ. So EM full stop Dennehy of the Family Christ.
Right, so Evan's on YouTube and Facebook. He's most active on Facebook. That could go down at any time. Like, do you want to just show that notification where he got taken down a second time, Aaron? Yeah, there you go. Another Facebook notification. Right, let me just read this. Your account has been locked. Aaron and Evan spent hours recovering his accounts, and that caused Evan in the end to go back to iPhone usage. So, it's all a bit of a day by day thing, how long we'll stay up online. But at the moment, you can follow Evan's work on Facebook or YouTube. And I would recommend, he made the most beautiful live stream where he said, I'm not understanding my education. I'm getting to algebra, German, Irish, and weird stuff. And I really want to learn about how to, responsibly run my life and learn a trade, like preferably carpentry, save up to go traveling. Like, that's not a lot to aspire to at 16. Like, there are many Irish people that left school at 13 and they went to England or wherever they went, America, wherever they went, and they just started working. You look at, there are billionaires that have left school at 15
Yeah.
and become billionaires. It's like, if you're a visionary and you're not a square peg in a round hole, then you might not get so much benefit from education. And yet I find Evan more educated than many 30-year-olds. He's educated himself. He's learned by the skin of his teeth and his toenails and his fingernails. He's learned how to survive, how to endure and how to overcome. So I want to recommend Evan's GoFundMe. The lad wants to just, learn a trade, earn an honest living, and travel the world, and make a difference to other people like himself and his mother, which I didn't know, that have grown up in care.
Yeah.
So is there anything else to add to that, Aaron?
I think we've done this, what we had ready.
Yeah. And
There is one more thing that we need to raise, which was the whole thing with her reaching out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say this, and many people know that I had Charmaine live with me for 3 weeks. She and her partner were very good to me for about 9 months. They turned up at the most opportune times. Paul did some amazing carpentry work for me. fixed the windows, did like just was like a big, well, a young brother, not a big brother, a little brother. Very, very good to me. But I've also experienced a sort of hot, cold, on off situation. The last time I heard from Charmaine was about 2 months ago, and she messaged and said, "I'm so sorry I blocked you. I was off triggered, and I've decided to stay in Ireland and I'll be down to visit you tomorrow." And I was like, delighted, no problem. I can forgive Charmaine 100 times over because there's more good than bad in her. And then I never heard from her again. And when I experienced the disappointment, I was all excited. Oh, great, they're coming to visit. I'll be so excited. I'm so looking forward to that. I thought, well, I'm an old lady that's disappointed. How must her children feel every time she tells them she's coming to rescue them, and then she goes dark? So Evan has had this experience in the last week. Why don't you tell us, Evan?
Yeah, so a while back I would have reached out to Charmaine. Um,
And she was good to
basically.
you. She was good to you.
Oh yeah, no, she was. So anyways, I reached out to her a while back, basically saying, look, this is how I'm doing. I'm back in Ireland, whatever. And she actually responded, and then we were calling, and we were talking every few days, and things were great. And then Charmaine was kind of talking about the idea. Well, we were both kind of talking about the idea of her fostering me so that I could get out of the system, so that I could use my next year and a half achieving what I need to achieve without Tusla being in my way. And I thought, you know what, like this is amazing. Paul does carpentry. He could teach me some of that. She has the animals there, and I love helping out on the farm, a lot of my family are farmers. So I love, nature and animals and things like that. It's a lovely location, really off grid, deep in the countryside in the Midlands. It's um I'd be living with two people who know what I've been through more
It's
than anyone.
half an hour drive from me.
Mm. Um and I thought, that if anyone was going to foster me, I think that could be the best case scenario. So I was like, oh my God, Evan, calm down. Don't get your hopes up.
And
But at the same time, I was like, yes, like, fuck the system. I'm getting out of this. Like,
yeah, yeah.
they're going to foster me. This is going to work out. It was meant to be. And I feel like it was always meant to be, because since the first day me and Charmaine ever made contact, that had always been our thing, that she was going to go back to Scotland and I was going to come with her, and she was going to take me in for a few years, and her and Paul would help me, and then that didn't happen. So I thought maybe now is the time this is going
Yeah.
to happen. And I just get a very random message saying I've spoken to my lawyers and friends and family, and I can't foster you. Actually, what I'll do
Share
is,
it, yeah, share it.
no, I can actually just read it out right now.
Yeah. And I have a copy of this if anybody wants it.
So to add some context, my mother coerced me into making a statement against Charmaine, which I've since then retracted. Because I was saying, well, look, I was under pressure to do this, and I told Charmaine that, and she said she understood and she wasn't upset and all this. Anyways, so it was late. It was 21:25 on Thursday. It was nighttime, and I had just thought, you know what, I'd message her just to say sorry again. So I said, I'm so sorry for letting you down.
Oh, Evan, I wish you wouldn't. You're so apologetic, and you don't need to be. You really don't need to be. You're
Um,
so self-blaming.
so I said to her, I'm so sorry for letting you down. And she responds the next day, just focus on you for now. We will stay as we are. Very small contact. Make sure you're okay. Sorry, but after talking with my friends and lawyer, with this update. I cannot have contact for a while. We are both glad you're doing well. Please keep that up, okay? You have come this far. Don't turn around for anyone. God bless. Stay safe. Um, focus. Yes, they are ancient. Oh yeah, she was referring to a symbol. Um, she said, "You have a good life, a lot better than it was. I will check in with you, but we won't be visiting. We understand there is no anger." And so basically, about visiting, um, Paul and Eagle, you know Eagle and Paul,
Yeah.
they are coming over next week to Ireland, and Charmaine had said, me, Paul, and Eagle, we're going to come down
Paula,
to
you mean
Wexford.
Paula,
We're
not
going to visit you.
Paula.
Yeah, Paula. She said, me, her, Eagle, and Paula, we're going to come down. We're going to visit you. We're going to check up on you and work closely with you. And now she's like, actually, we're not coming down to see you anymore. And it's just like, that's nasty. I'm so, like, Charmaine, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that this is how things played out. But I think that was a really nasty move for you to pull. Charmaine, I'm speaking directly to you right now. You know what I've been through. You know how for years I've been chasing validation from my mother, which I've never gotten. And you were like that mother figure to me. And you have been there throughout this whole journey and you've seen all of my ups and downs. And for you to then do the exact same thing as my mother, I'll be back, I'll come and see you, and I'll be involved, and then turn around and be like, actually, I'm not anymore. That's exactly what my mother did. I came back to Ireland. My mom promised, oh, I'll see you every second week, son, no matter what. And now I haven't seen my mother in weeks. She's just gone out of the picture. And it's like that's essentially what you've done. And Charmaine, you don't understand how traumatizing that is for me and for your kids and other survivors, because a lot of us survivors, we have abandonment issues. We've all been kind of rejected by somebody at some point. You know, a lot of us have attachment disorder because all we are seeking is love and validation and nurturing. I need to be nurtured. That's one thing I've never had. And you've just kind of disappeared now. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't keep doing that. I need to focus on the people that I know will always have my back and that will always be there in the background fighting for me and not just coming and going when it suits them. I need consistency, you know. And I'm sorry to say this, Charmaine, but I do feel you've let me down to some degree. And I know you've tried and I know you've been through absolute hell and back for your kids. And I don't blame you. And I know, you know, there is a lot of good in you, and I know you are doing your absolute best to fight against the system. But I think you need to get your priorities right. You need to get strong. You need to get your priorities straight on who you're helping, where you're going, what you're doing. You need to work on those goals and not give up on them. And then when the time is right, where you feel like you're at the place you want to be in life, then of course I'm here and you can reach out to me. But clearly, with everything that's going on in your life at the moment, you're obviously not ready for that, and it's disappointing. That's the way things have played out. But
Yeah, well done, well done. I
yeah,
just want to say as well, and it hurts me to say this, but Eagle Cope is Anna Marie Hope Copeland, and she, with Paula beside her, confessed to me that she was guilty of manslaughter of a girl at West.
I'm aware. I'm aware
I
of
won't
that.
say this to
Yes.
the public. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Um, she was a victim of familial abuse and paedophile ring abuse, and a girl at school teased her about it, something about having sex with her father. And Anne Marie went into a blackout rage and smashed the girl's head against the curb of the, between the footpath and the road. And about 10 days later, the girl died from those injuries. And the girl's adoptive parents, who were probably part of the same ring in Nottingham, said to Anna Marie, if you become a Christian and do what we tell you, we won't report this. And she got away with it, and she's gone on to, you know, say she's a preacher of the Word of God and she's a born again Christian and so on and so forth. But then when she confessed that to a survivor in her home, she said, "Oh, I killed somebody," and that woman, that survivor, went public about it.
Mm.
Then she said, "Oh, it was a false memory. It was a false memory. I didn't do that. There's no record. The police will guarantee there's no record," and it was all covered up. And so I'm just very suspicious of these kind of people in the movement towards children's rights and children's protection, and they've got skeletons in their closet that they're happy to cover up as false memory syndrome.
But you see, the thing is, with me, I've never hide it. I'm in court. I have charges against me. I've made mistakes. You know, I I think the difference is we've all fucked up in life, but some people will go to extreme lengths to
Yeah,
cover it up.
we've
Whereas
all fucked
I'm
up
like,
life, but
I'm standing
how many
here.
people have committed manslaughter? Even
Mm.
even in a blackout rage with a horrendous background, how many people have smashed somebody's head until they died 10 days later? You know, how
I
many?
mean, to some degree, I can't completely blame her, but at the same time, it's like, look, I'm standing here today and I'm like, you know, I've made these mistakes. I'm not hiding. I'm standing up here, you know, holding my hands up like this is who I am. This is what didn't happen, and this is my story. And it's like I have nothing to hide. You know, I don't like when I tell a story. I don't just tell myself the story. I tell a full story. Whereas with Eagle, it's always been very hard to find out her truth, the other person's truth, and the truth. And
Yeah,
it's like you just don't know. And that's why when it comes to such huge things like that, I step back and it's like if I get invested by this, if I get swallowed up by this, I'll be thrown off track. It's a distraction, it's a temptation. I need to
but you
focus
had
on
the
my
cop on. You had the cop on to say in your latest live that even though youngsters at youth reach were challenging you to a fight, and even though your instinct is to go and have the fight, but you're like, no, 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 I'm not getting drawn into that. I'm not getting stitched up and framed up that I, you know, broke my bail conditions. And the final thing I want to end on, which is really important, is that originally you thought it was the beginning of November, but somewhere around the 28th of November, you're due for sentencing.
25th of November
25th of
is
November, right?
is no, it's not sentencing. It's a they're seeking the probation report for the 25th.
Right. So whatever, you're on bail. You
Yeah.
got coerced, in my opinion, into making a plea deal.
No,
And
I agree. I was coerced. Yeah,
yeah,
because I
and
mean
you
they
could,
told me straight
yeah,
up, you're like you're getting a lot of time if you don't
yeah,
plead guilty.
you're going down for 5 years, but if you just sign here, we'll get you a lighter sentence. And I made a video about that. Stop taking plea deals, but you are in a serious situation. So whatever you choose to do is up to you. I personally would retract the plea and say it was made under duress, but you've got to own what you choose to do. I would fire the legal team. I would present myself and I would retract the plea, the guilty plea, and then let the chips fall where they may, you know. But anyway, look, so I will post in the link Evan's Facebook page, his YouTube channel, and his GoFundMe. And I would ask you to keep him in your prayers. And if there's any carpenters, which, if you could choose, Evan, where in Ireland would you like to live?
Well, I probably when I'm 18 I will be moving, but if I was living in Ireland, it would probably be somewhere very in the countryside. I don't have you ever been to Charmaine's place before?
No, but she's only half an hour up the road. They used to visit me like every 2 weeks.
Right. Well,
And I
somewhere
know
very
that area very well. My son
Mm.
My son is with a partner from that area, and my ex-husband used to build houses all around that area. I'm very
Yeah.
familiar with it.
I
But
mean, my only condition really would be I'd be far from the city. I'd be very in the countryside, an off-grid kind of a setup. So I guess in the likes of West Cork and Kerry, or the countryside in the Midlands, or
and
like the
just
Wicklow Mountains. That'd be lovely.
keeping it real, because you're at the moment being fairly well looked after in Wexford, right? They're not too bad, are they?
Yeah, they're okay, but I do think I am being love bombed, and at the end of the day, they have the power to at any moment say, "Okay, we're turning the tables now. We're taking the phone. We're taking this. We're
No, but
taking that."
that's why we keep going public. But at the moment, they're being pretty decent. They haven't taken your phone. They've told you they're not recommending secure unit for you.
Yeah, no, they're getting rid of they've gotten rid of that.
Yeah,
Thank
so
God.
let's just stay in the present. They're being pretty decent. So what I'm thinking is, if a carpenter in the locality of Wexford could give you a paid apprenticeship, you could possibly, for the next 18 months, still live in that care home, but just go out to your apprenticeship every day instead of going to youth reach.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I am looking to get some kind of a job where, like, I need an income. Money is a
I get
struggle
that.
at the
I get
moment.
that. And I honestly think you have the ability and the talent to earn an income online, but it's all about patience, patience, patience. Like, look at it already. You started live streaming again, you were getting one or two people. Now you're up to 500 or 600 views. Just
Yeah.
keep building and building and concentrate each day. Like, I got up this morning and I was like, what do you want me to do today, God? So I'm just going to close in prayer. And I thank you for Aaron and all his help. I thank you for Andy Devine and all the advice he's given Evan. I thank you for Evan. I thank you even for Charmaine and Paul, even for Anne Marie and Paula, for everybody that has Michelle, everybody that's helped Evan. I thank you, Lord, for these people. And I just pray that you teach us, like that corny old song goes, one day at a time, one day at a time. That's the best we can do. So I think we've done pretty good today. What about you, Aaron? Anything else?
Yes, no, it's all good, well covered.
Yeah, thank you
Perfect.
so much, Aaron. Yeah, no, Aaron's done brilliant.
Yeah, I do want to give Aaron a big shout out.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah,
amazing and
no.
helping me recover my accounts and all of that. It's been brilliant. And
Yeah,
I know me and you we had a good laugh earlier at the
I
start.
know, I know, I know, I know, and I know.
I'm just
And
thinking about that now. I'm like, don't laugh.
occasionally, Aaron and I have big fights, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
And I just love it. I said to Angela, I said, I love how Angela hires an IT person because, I don't think anyone can handle all of the technology by themselves. And then
No,
she's like, no, I know this is how it is. And you have to do this. And it's
no.
not that link, it's the other link. God damn it. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting here in the background watching it all. And there'll be that odd pause where it's like, no, Aaron, I'm telling you. Sorry, Evan. Sorry, we'll be 2 minutes, Evan. Just give us a chance.
All right, bollocking taken. All right, listen, people. The
All
next
evidence
update,
is out. Yeah.
the next update will probably be after the court case. And please pray for Aaron, and please follow the links in the description box. Thanks, everybody. Brilliant, brilliant. Oops, I'm trying to find where to end. There we go. Angela'sCashes.org, Angela Teresa Power Disney on Facebook.